So today is more of something that frequently happens on the platform. And today's topic is slow or fast. So which are you? And so let's explain slow or fast when it comes to dating. In this aspect, not relationship, of course. We focus on dating, so dating only. When it comes to dating, what is slow and what's fast, right? I think that's very relative and it depends on the person. So let me just let you know, let me just let you in on what led to this topic. Okay, so a couple of we've had this happen a couple of times. I'm gonna give you the most recent example I can think of. And so this lady was like, she met this guy, and she has kids. He has kids as well, and that he's already referring to them as our kids. So he says, "Oh, let's take our kids out. Let's do this with our kids," and she feels like it's too quick, too soon. Like, how is he referring to my kids as his kids already? So that's what I mean by slow and fast. She feels like he's moving too fast, obviously, and so there's situations where a person might feel another person is moving too slow too. And you find that situation. There was a lady that asked, that was a couple of years ago. She said she had met this guy and they had been talking together for like a year and going on dates and stuff. And she was just wondering that should she ask him that question, like, what are we? So in that case, he would say he was moving too slow, because if she was at a point where she felt like she needed to ask him, like, what are we, it meant it wasn't clear to her. And obviously, probably a little bit too slow for her too. I've seen cases where people have actually ghosted the other person because they felt like they're moving too fast. They're like, I just don't trust this person, they're moving too fast, and they ghost the person. And sometimes it might be because you're hurt or you've experienced something before that you feel like if it's moving this fast, it's not good, right? And that's okay. But it'll be better to communicate it with the person as opposed to ghosting that person. The same thing with someone that moves too slow. So people might ghost someone that moves too slow, saying, this person is moving too slow, clearly doesn't care about me, because if you care about me, by now you should be able to define what we are. This person is moving too slow for me, so I'm going to just, ghost it. I'm just out of this. And then they end up ghosting the person rather than ask the person, or at least communicate with the person that I feel this is a little bit slow. Like, what do you think? Of course, we've all been there before. I've been in dates where I felt like, slow down. Like, I've gone on a first date where the person is already using the word, and there are different ways of slow and fast, and you define yours, obviously, because, well, everyone is unique. To me, using certain words early enough is a sign of being too fast or slow. It's a sign of the speed. Because if someone starts on the first date saying, babe, it depends. It might not be a serious word. So you're like, or someone is like sweetheart or sweetie or something, using some kind of affectionate word. Like, is that fast or slow for you? Some people might feel like it's just a term. And even things as simple as come over to my place. Some people are like, slow down, that's too fast. Some people are like, no, it's not a big deal, I can come over to your place. Some people don't think that's fast or slow, or has nothing to do with speed. It's up to you to define what slow is for you and what fast is for you. Another way I feel, and this is my own personal opinion, that you can find out a person's speed and know if it's something you can work with or not, is actually asking certain questions. So in the getting to know you phase, obviously dating, I feel like you can ask the person, if you had to choose between 2 months or 2 years of courtship, let's just not go far, 1 month or 1 year of courtship, what would you say? Which would you go with? Like, if you had to get married to somebody after 1 year or 1 month, which would you go with? If the person says 1 month and you feel like you're a 1 month person too, then you're on the same speed, so you're like, okay, this works. And if the person says 1 year and you're a 1 month person, you might be like, oh, we're on different speed level. But do I like this person enough to communicate, tell the person, oh, okay, cool. But let them know along the way that 1 year is too slow for you. You're a 1 month kind of person. So you would rather have that, defined within a month, or at least sooner than a year. And also the same way, if you're a 1 year person and your person said 1 month, and you feel like, no, 1 month is too quick, communicate that. Don't just carry the person along for the drive. Communicate that some people just keep quiet and just ghost the person. I feel like what you should do at that point is say, really, 1 year? I feel like that's too long. For me, 1 month is enough. By seeing that statement alone, you've already communicated to that person that you're a faster person, like you want 1 month, 1 year is too long. If the person says 1 month and you're the 1 year person, you're like, 1 month? That's too quick. You know nothing about the person. I feel like 1 year is what I would want. You have communicated that. Because obviously there are always arguments for both sides. 1 year, some people would say, oh, it takes time to know someone. And some people will tell you, well, after 5 years, you could still not know someone, so that's not a good reason. And some people would say 1 month because people just, trust me, it's a debate. There are always good examples and good reasons why people have their slow or fast pace when it comes to dating. So just the important part is communicating with that person so that you carry the person along and you know if you can work with that person or not. So you don't go, you're not a 1 month person moving with the 1 year person and you haven't communicated that with them at all. And I've given you a simple way of knowing that. I'm going to just recap. So we talked today about slow or fast, which are you? I want to put something in it. I wanted to add something to that. I forget. It kind of came to me but it left again. Huh? That's what Lagos does to you. Honestly, I feel like the I'm blaming it on Lagos, I know. So I was trying to add something to the whole 1 month and 1 year thing, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was or what it is. Yeah, I can't for the life of me remember. Anyway, comment section, please let us know what your opinions are. Are you the slow kind of person? Are you the fast kind of person? Have you ever been with a slow person and done something? Like I've been on dates where the person has been really fast, but I never ghosted someone for being fast, and I've also never ghosted someone for being slow. But I've communicated it for with the person. You don't just ghost someone because they were too fast or they're too slow. You never know what they're dealing with. You might feel like, oh, this girl is too slow. She's not defining what we are. She's not letting us know we're not moving forward. And you might never know, maybe she's just dealing with being hurt or she's trying to wait for something to just happen. You don't know exactly why. And if someone is also too fast, first things I've noticed that a lot of people always go straight to, this happened recently. She just was so like, this is just too fast. I don't trust this guy. I just do not trust this guy. First thing that goes to that person's mind is trust. And they think the person is playing some sort of game. But people are different. That person could just naturally be a fast person. So give people a chance, communicate with the person, communicate with people all the time. I really hate the idea of ghosting, honestly. So I think we should always communicate. Oh, I did remember what I wanted to communicate about. I did remember what I wanted to add into it, and yes, I came back for that. So I remember I wanted to add that, at the beginning I said being slow or fast is relative, right? To you, your idea of fast or slow is probably different from my idea. I could exchange numbers with someone today and speak to them today, and someone else could say, oh, that's too fast. Or someone using the word baby. I remember that happened to me, and I honestly had to communicate, and I told him, I think it's too fast to use that kind of word because we're just talking. We haven't actually even had the first date yet. We're talking on the phone. We haven't had the first date yet. And he said he didn't think it was a big deal. If he likes somebody, he uses those kind of words. Of course, if you feel like your slow pace is what's working for you, then stay with you. Don't let someone tell you that, oh, you're moving too slow, you should move faster. Unless, well, you analyze that. Some people can tell you in the minutes and you can analyze it and it can work for you. But move at your own pace. And if something is too fast for you, well, tell them it's too fast for you. If something is too slow for you, or tell them it's too slow for you. Some people feel like if they say something is too slow, it means like they're clingy. I think that's why the lady asked, like, when do I ask that question? What are we? A lot of people are afraid to define the relationship. Not to define it, in fact, let me take that back. They're not afraid to define the relationship. What people are afraid to do is to actually ask the other person to define the relationship, because that's where the real fear comes, because they don't want to seem like you're needy. If you want to know the answer to that question, like what are we, then you should go ahead and ask it. Like, what are we? I've seen a lot of different answers, or people will tell you we're nothing but pencils in the hands of the creator. So people will tell you, they'll start saying, what are we? Some people will say we are the world, we'll start singing for you and all that. So really, I think if you want to ask the question, and if you even feel the need to ask that question, it means that you're at a point in that relationship where you're confused, because personally, and this is my opinion, I feel like in some relationships I already know what we are without having to ask it. Like the actions kind of show me what we are. But some people would tell you, well, it's better to be safe than sorry. So it's better to discuss it and ask it and let it be outright there, like this is what was said, than to just assume and make assumptions. But to be honest, in my past relationships, I've always just gone with assumptions. Like we just kind of guess what we are. You know, it's never been a case of we've sat down to discuss what's going on. I think it's happened maybe once, you know, but not necessarily. But everything works differently for different people. So if you're the kind of person that you need to discuss it, then go ahead and discuss it. If you're the kind of person that feels like you need clarity, then clearly you need clarity and you should discuss it without feeling the fear of being judged or anything. So that's what I wanted to add.